In the grandiloquent amphitheater of online political discourse, to gladiators of intellectual prowess, destiny and loner box have engaged in a dialectical joust, dissecting the intricacies of left-wing politics and the labyrinthine world of online communities, especially calling out YouTubers Second Thought and Hakim.
Casting now, some of them. Like,
Well,
I feel like
is
Haas
it
could have easily gotten in with them, but no.
a tanky crowd or a MAGA commie crowd?
No, a tanky crowd, like an actual tanky crowd, not like the
It's
fucking
not like
weird
that
shit
weird
that they do.
Samira chick and Hinkle or whatever, right? This is a different group of people you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about like Second Thought and Hakeem and those guys.
Dude, that Second Thought guy, have you watched any of his videos?
He's pretty.
He's legitimately
silly.
one of the
Yeah.
stupidest people I've ever seen, like possibly dumber than Lance. Oh my god, his videos are so horrible. Holy shit.
It's really annoying. Like, look, because reacting to them is like all the factual information is like it's kind of true, but it's like all just like propaganda pieces. The way that he puts it together. Yeah.
Today we're going to talk about cities. Did you guys know that the reason why single-family housing is popular is because capitalists communists and said that they only wanted the worst types of houses to keep you poor? Like, this is like every video. There's like the substance is almost non-existent. The claims are like borderline unfalsifiable because they're so like weak. It's just like, oh.
I mean, I think he's intentionally propagandist, right?
No,
I mean,
he's just,
he
it's
even
just
has a video about
stupid,
like how to do communist propaganda or whatever.
He's just a stupid. He's just stupid. Do you know what his alternate channel?
When I used to hang out with like crazy far left socialists and all that, like they would actually just say like it's all propaganda, like the BBC or all these like centrist stuff, that's all like capitalist propaganda, so we just have to fight back with our own kind, you know, like that's
well, I mean, there's no reason why it can't be factual, at least. I mean, like, there are believe it or not, I can't remember the guy's name, but there was a guy that wrote like a huge 3-volume book on a big critique of capitalism. Like, there are intelligent critiques out there, you know. Yeah,
is it really?
You're saying Das Kapital is an intelligent critique?
Maybe.
Putin is God
it's more
all over your stream. Like, that's what he used to do, right?
I have no idea.
Being really unhinged. He had Putin as, and then he got banned on Twitch.
Based. Yep. Do you know what Second Thought's second channel is?
Oh, the cars, sports cars.
That's the funniest. That's like the funniest shit in the world to me. Him and Hassan, dude. I love these guys.
Yeah, but if you criticize that means you're calling socialism a poverty cult, right?
Yeah, true. Oh, socialism is
can only
when no
choose
car.
Poverty.
Yeah. Oh my.
Socialism is when no
house in West
sports cars
Hollywood.
show.
Yeah. Holy Christ.
I always thought with those debates, I feel like no one ever asked this with Train and Hassan, is like, I feel like Train would suggest all these things, like, oh, you could do this, you could do this, and it's always like, no, but that's not socialism. Socialism is specifically about work and control of the media production. But it's like, it makes me wonder, like, why are you a socialist? Like, what made you? What do you think socialism is going to fix? And they'll say socialism will fix racism and wealth inequality and all that. But yeah, you can address all those things like without it being socialism. So, but yeah, it's just a really strange little like evasion that they do. Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's all just kind of like whatever's culturally popular right now. And then it's always like the same issue that I have with all the progressives is it'll always be like a good idea like taken too far. Where it's like, oh, like maybe we should recognize that there are like systemic forms of racism in society, and it's like true. Does anyone else feel like every single thing in society is like white supremacy? Like when a black cop hits like a white like civilian, that's actually white supremacy too. Like everything, it just becomes like everything becomes so brain dead.
Yeah, but I feel like those guys got quite popular maybe during the same time as Corbyn and Sanders, which made sense. But I think the way I see it now is that. People like liberalism and like Bush and all that, like I think they kind of f***ed their credibility a lot, especially like on the world stage because of like the Iraq War and Afghanistan, and everyone just hated them, and it opened this huge space for people like Michael Moore and like Democracy Now! And all these like really far left people to come in and say like, well, this is what they're doing, listen to us. But now it's kind of like the opposite. People are quite like unanimous when it comes to Ukraine, and then it's like the leftists who have decided to just sacrifice themselves on the altar of this like really weird position that no one can really identify with. So
Yeah, I feel like it's all just
circle.
populist / anti-establishment. Like, I feel like that's like the defining factor of basically every new online movement. Like, whatever the establishment says, I think it's gay and cringe. I don't trust the FDA. I don't trust large corporations. I don't trust academia. I don't like the far left and the far right are like pretty unified in that messaging. That's why you get people like Lance that goes on Tim Pool's show and they find themselves agreeing on so many things. Oh, both parties are really bad. Oh, this is all really bad. Oh, true. And it's like, yeah, well, when the totality of your beliefs can be summarized with institutions equal bad, that's essentially like what you're left with.
Yeah, and I think the thing I find difficult though is when you're online, I feel like the kind of audience that comes onto the internet for politics is like they're not really like if you wanted just good information and like that, you wouldn't watch streamers. You would probably just read some books or like find stuff online and just watch like BBC or Reuters or whatever. But so people come online because they want the more wacky, like the extreme left or the extreme right and all, or the populist stuff. And I feel like every time you have a position that is even slightly more towards the mainstream or like just countering whatever dogma of whatever circle you're part of, like I think you immediately become the thing that people came onto the internet to try and get away from. And I don't really know a way around that, you know?
Yeah, maybe
can I say something?
Go for it.
Okay. Obama.
Good one.
Haz is just a deeply insecure individual. Like, when he saw that Irrelevant was like way taller than him at TwitchCon, he just freaked out and started spurging. It was just really painful to watch. He just started attacking his skin and like, I don't know, it was really sad to be honest.
True.
Who knows why those kinds of people come to their like views? I don't know. Probably had nothing else going on. Read a book on Marxism. Decided to go full autist. I don't know.
They definitely didn't read a book on Marxism.
You know what? Haz might.
No,
have,
you know,
actually.
has read some
Haz
books.
probably did,
Unfortunately, I was probably the catalyst for the he does.
Wait, really? What?
Huh?
What did you say about the catalog? Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, he'll read some things and just become, I don't know, make his own indoctrinate himself over. I don't know. What knows?
Did you watch Lance's appearance on Tim Pool?
Yeah, I reacted to it earlier today. Yeah.
How'd you feel it went?
The abortion really set me off.
Yeah.
I feel like the trans bit. I think Lance roughly had the right stuff with the research and all that, but like Tim Pool was actually kind of being a bit dishonest in a few places. But I think that was just like debate tactics or whatever, not being able to navigate that.
A little bit.
I don't know if you got to the what is a woman part.
Destiny, a streamer of considerable repute, has cast aspersions on the leftist YouTuber Second Thought, branding his videos as nothing more than propagandistic piffle with claims as weak as a malnourished kitten. Destiny's critique of the current state of leftist politics is akin to a surgeon's scalpel, dissecting the body politic with precision. He accuses the left of being populist and anti-establishment, a cacophonous chorus of dissent without a coherent melody or ideology. This, he argues, is a political pantomime, a theater of the absurd where the actors are bereft of a script. The conversation meanders into the verdant pastures of socialism, a topic that has been the subject of much debate and consternation. Destiny, ever the Socratic interlocutor, questions the raison d'etre of socialists, probing into what they believe socialism will rectify. He posits that many of the societal maladies that socialists seek to ameliorate, such as racism and wealth inequality, can be addressed without resorting to socialism. This intellectual jousting match also delves into the murky waters of media perception. Destiny and Lonerbox discuss the far-left socialists' view of mainstream media as capitalist propaganda, a belief that has led them to create their own counter-propaganda. This, Destiny argues, is a dangerous game of tit-for-tat that only serves to further polarize the political landscape. The conversation also touches on the emergence of online leftist movements, which Destiny and Loner Box argue have arisen in response to the credibility loss of liberalism and the establishment. This, they posit, is a reactionary movement, a knee-jerk response to the perceived failures of the status quo. The specter of white supremacy also looms large in their discussion. Destiny and Loner Box dissect this pernicious ideology, examining its roots and its impact on society. They argue that this is a cancer that must be excised from the body politic, a task that requires concerted effort and unwavering commitment. The Iraq War, a contentious topic that continues to reverberate in the halls of power, is also discussed. Destiny and Loner Box examine the war's impact on the political landscape, arguing that it has served to further polarize the political discourse and has led to a loss of faith in the establishment. The duo also delve into the difficulty of finding reliable information online. In an era where misinformation is as ubiquitous as the air we breathe, they argue that discerning fact from fiction has become an Herculean task. This, they posit, is a challenge that must be met head-on if we are to maintain the integrity of our political discourse. The conversation also touches on the tendency of online political communities to become echo chambers, a phenomenon that Destiny and Loner Box argue is detrimental to the health of our political discourse. They posit that these echo chambers serve to reinforce existing beliefs and stifle dissent, creating a monolithic worldview that is resistant to change. The interwebular space has engendered a facilitation of access to the cornucopia of erudition on a plenitude of themes. However, the superfluity of erudition can also occasion a conundrum of distinguishing verity from mendacity. This is particularly germane to the political firmament, as disparate websites and social media podiums often evince their own predilections and desiderata. In concatenation with the arduousness of locating salubrious erudition, online political enclaves also have a proclivity to transmogrify into resonating cavities. This implies that hominids tend to forage for erudition that corroborates their extant convictions and sentiments, rather than impugning them. This can eventuate in a scenario where hominids become increasingly intransigent in their views and are less amenable to countervailing standpoints. To extirpate the proclivity of online political enclaves to transmogrify into resonating cavities, it is imperative to forage for diverse provenances of erudition and to be receptive to different standpoints. This necessitates a readiness to partake in critical intellection and to impugn one's own convictions and presuppositions. By doing so, we can ensure that we are making enlightened choices based on the optimum obtainable erudition, rather than being inveigled by propaganda and disinformation. In conclusion, the intellectual jousting match between Destiny and Loner Box serves as a microcosm of the larger political discourse. It is a testament to the complexity of our political landscape, a landscape that is constantly shifting and evolving. It is a reminder that we must constantly question, probe, and challenge our beliefs if we are to navigate this labyrinthine world of politics. As the Greek philosopher Socrates once said, the unexamined life is not worth living. The same, I believe, can be said of our political beliefs.